Hello, hello, and welcome to A Better World with Adrian, the podcast. This is where I, Adrian Schroeder, commune with you once a week and share tools, insights, experiences, modalities, portals, and healings so that you can live the life you want. You can live your dreams. We can all live our dreams, and when we do this, we contribute and build a better world together. So sit back, relax, grab a beverage, grab your highest self, an open mind, an open heart, and receive. You are worthy, and a new earth is here when we believe and be. Hello, hello, fam, and welcome back to another episode of A Better World with Adrian. If you are new here, welcome. I'm Adrian. I am a healer, a shaman, a guide, an astrologer. I'm a Leo sun, a Taurus rising, a Libra moon, and I believe in you. I believe in your greatness. I believe that you came to this planet right now for a purpose greater than you, and that it is your job to make your dreams and your destiny. Why? Because you deserve it, because it will make you happy, because it'll light your soul on fire with deep meaning, joy, and impact. And when all of us do this together, we make a better world. Can I get a hell yeah? And if you are a longtime listener, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. I am so excited about today's episode, and this is story time. This is story time with Adrian. I just got back from a trip to see family in northern Michigan. So if you don't know much about me, I live in Chicago. I'm born and raised in the Midwest in Michigan in the United States, and we have a family cottage. We call it up north. Up north just means northern Michigan, not the Upper Peninsula. Fun fact. People get very specific about that if you're a Michigander. Michigander, by the way, is someone who's from Michigan. So I'm a born and raised Michigander, and I went up to my family's cottage in northern Michigan, aka up north, and I spent some good quality time with my grandpa, with my dad, with my ancestors, walking barefoot on the land that not only I grew up walking barefoot on, and swimming in the lake, not only in the lake that I grew up swimming in, I swam alongside my grandmother's ashes. I walked the same patterns in the earth that my grandma's grandma walked, and it was deeply powerful for me as a shaman. It was deeply powerful for me as a human, separate from being a healer. And I did this trip in a totally new way, and within the first, I always get crazy downloads when I'm in the sky. And this is what I love to say, and it's so true. The reason why I love flying so much is because I get to leave Earth and be closer to the stars. Like, that's why. Like, do I love travel? Abso-fucking-lutely. My North Node is in the 9th house, which rules long distance travel, foreign lands, other cultures, wisdom, tradition, spirituality. So yeah, it just makes a lot of sense why I grow so much and I get so much from travel, but literally I get to leave Earth and be closer to the stars every time I'm in an airplane, and I get so happy. and I just felt the downloads rushing in. And today's episode is going to be a story from the very beginning of this trip. And in this story, there's a lesson. And the lesson is in the name of the podcast, and very, very common what I've noticed about myself. And I think this is due to me being a mental projector in human design. So if you don't know human design, it's another wisdom tradition, kind of like astrology, but it takes into account astrology, the meridian lines of the body, Chinese medicine, and it's like a hodgepodge of all these things. And I'm a projector, which is one of the least common ones, and I'm a mental projector, which is a very rare kind of projector. So it just means the only defined centers in my body are my throat chakra, which makes a lot of sense why I have a podcast, and my third eye. So I'm able to synthesize things very clearly. I receive so much through my third eye, and I think one of the reasons why I discover the name of my podcasts while I am making them is because I'm a mental projector. It's like when I talk things out, like my authority or like decision-making process is when I'm aligned is be in a safe space and talk it out. Like for me to know my truth, I make voice notes a lot, and so it's me just like talking it out, and then when I speak it, I know what's my truth. I know what the correct decision is. So I have two potential, all of this to say, I have two potential titles for this podcast, and one is how to place an order with the universe, and the second one is how to get what you really want. And both are true, both are valid. It's just which one is going to be more fun. Honestly, I feel like it's how to place an order with the universe. So before we get into the transmission, I do want to share, like I always do, what's on my altar today. I have a very simple altar. I've been going through deep, potent transformation for me, myself. At the time of this recording, we're in eclipse season in April 2023. I am going through major 12th house transits. I'm going through a lot of energetic healing that I'm not ready to share about yet because it's so deeply personal and it's also not integrated yet. And that's something I think is really important to share, is that for a new earth, like the old coaching paradigm is like, hey, I learned about something in a course over the weekend and now I'm going to start teaching it. And it's like very impatient, very not embodied, very fake it till you make it. And New Earth simply will not allow that. So as leaders, and if you're in my space and in my world, you are a New Earth leader in some way. Otherwise, I would be repelling you out of my space with my energy. So it's our job to integrate before we teach. It's our job to integrate before we, share with others. And for me as a healer, like I can only go as deep with my clients as I've gone with myself. So just letting you know, your girl's in a deep healing journey, and I'll be sharing more on that soon. But I've been playing with these ideas of simplicity. So I have a very simple altar for us. And especially right now, we just had Earth Day. We're building a new earth. Like something that people don't do that all of our ancestors did was make offerings. Was make offerings to the universe. Was make offerings to our creator, to Mother Earth, in deep, humble gratitude for all that we are given. And so that's what altars are. It's setting the stage of humble gratitude for a transmission to occur. And so on the altar today, I have some fuchsia pink roses, and they really just represent unconditional love. It's basically all unconditional love today. I have my rose quartz stone. I have a selenite tower that my soul sister Jack gifted me. It's very metallic and protective. I have local sage burning, very, very, very important. It's from the Menominee tribe. I only buy local sage because, again, that's another way of offering respect. Like, there's just like anything, spirituality is being diluted by the matrix, and one of those is like every fucking like you can go buy sage at fucking Target, and I'm like, I would never, first of all, spend my money on that specific sage because I don't want to use my resources to fuel or support that. If you want more about me and money and what I believe, go to the episode The Spirituality of Money. And then it's like there's no way that is ethically produced. There's just no way. So I'm burning local sage for us. I live on Potawatomi land currently in Chicago, Illinois, and I was also raised on Potawatomi land. And fun fact about my ancestors is the farm that my mom grew up on in Michigan, way back in the day, they actually used to consistently cross paths with a Potawatomi tribe that lived there. And, you know, they acknowledged one another, and they really honored each other. And, you know, when I learned about this, I was like, oh my gosh, you know, it like scared me because I was like, you know, am I going to learn something about my family history that I don't want, that's painful? You know, were we one of those, you know, families of white people that just like did horrible things? I think honestly, everyone, especially if you live in America, you have roots, and like, and if you are white and you live in America, you probably honestly have roots in colonialism, like horrendous behavior in your bloodline. So that's just a fact. That's not an opinion. But it was cool to discover that like my family, the ones that interacted with those tribes, it was very peaceful and respectful. So, not to say we didn't do things wrong. Okay, we're talking about altars. The other thing on my altar is I have this little clear quartz dolphin. And dolphin is one of my spirit animals. And it just reminds me that life is fun. Life gets to be fun. Manifesting gets to be fun. Healing can be deeply challenging, and it can be fun. So that's the altar. And as we do, let's take 3 deep breaths to connect our mind, body, and spirit for this transmission. So feet firmly on Mother Earth or the floor of your car or wherever you're going. Exhale out completely. Inhale through the nose. Open up your crown chakra to the possibilities of the universe. Exhale out the mouth. Inhale through your nose. Feel your heart space open, allowing the unconditional love that will pour through this transmission to change you, to move you, to heal you, to love you just as you are. Let it out the mouth. One final inhale through the nose, holding at the top. Open your third eye and your crown chakra. Setting an intention, setting an energy. Why did you press play? What are you grateful for? Exhale out the mouth. Boom. The portal is open. Okay, so how to place an order with the universe. It's story time. It's story time. So in this trip, so this is how we're going to do it. I'm going to tell this story, and as I tell this story, the lesson is going to be revealed, okay? And so this is going to be more of a flowy episode, and then I'll do a recap at the end, but this is just me being in my mermaid water magic, just in story time, and let this be a parable. Let this be a story that is a lesson in motion for how to place an order with the universe and get exactly what you want. So I decided to fly to Northern Michigan this time, and I decided that for a couple of reasons. First, it's a 7-hour drive solo, and when I was younger, when I was just in a different place in my life, I did that all the time, especially in the summer. It's 7 hours with the time change, by the way. And I said, I have all my responsibilities for my business and my clients, and I was just feeling the call, like, to go up north and see my grandpa and spend good quality family time, like, as much as possible. And it was a very, very, very loud call from my ancestors, from my guides, just from my highest self, like, hey, get up there as much as you can, like, prioritize this. And so rather than feeling burnt out when I got up there from the drive that zaps me, and then feeling burnt out when I got home, I was like, oh, what if I fly? And so what I did was I flew, and hell yeah, shout out to my points. I got to use some points. I flew up there and I land in Traverse City, Michigan. And so Traverse City, Michigan is like, I would say it's like a blue dot on Lake Michigan, and it's a touristy spot for, I would say, people in Chicago, but also like in Michigan as well. But it's very like, they have like an organic grocery store and all of that stuff, and there's like spiritual culture there and lake life and all of that. And so I land, and I hadn't been there in years and years and years and years. And one of the first things I always do when I land in a new city, it's like my ritual. First, obviously, like, I figure out the car situation. Like, in this case, I did a Turo car, which, if you don't know what Turo is, it's like Airbnb for cars. And it's like, it's contact free. It's epic. So I did that. And then the second thing I always do when I land is I go to the grocery store or I go out to eat. I'm like, I need sustenance. I need fuel. And so I intermittent fast just very naturally with my body. And so I landed, it was like midday. I was like, ooh, I'm hungry. I also am very, very specific about what I put in my body because I value my health above all else. So food is medicine, and contrary to what they tell you in especially American healthcare, we don't need a lot of the bullshit that they tell us. You know what most people need? Sleep, proper food, proper hydration, all coming from the earth, and living in deep union with the cycles of Mother Earth. Like, that's what we need. We don't, like, most people, honestly, if they did those things, they would be asymptomatic, and most dis-ease would be healed. Disease just means dis-ease, discord, disharmony, like something's not harmonized. So I literally could do a whole episode on health. I could do a whole fucking podcast on health. Anyways, the first thing I do is I go get food. And so I was like, okay, where's somewhere where I can go eat? And I was thinking, first I found this organic grocery store, and I went there and I saw that you could order stuff. So I was like, oh, like they'll probably have like an omelet or something like that. And I got there and it was more just like breakfast sandwiches. And I was like, this is a hard pass for Adrienne. Like, all of this has gluten. This is going to hurt my body. It's literally poisoning my body if I were to eat this. So no, that's not what I desire. And so I asked some people, I asked around, like, do you have any recommendations for like farm to table breakfast? Do you have any recommendations for vegan breakfast? I'm not vegan. However, what I've noticed is that if you look for a vegan restaurant, like they usually have like all the veggies, all the healthy fats, all the like tried and true things I know are gonna fuel my body in the way that I desire. So I got some recommendations and I wasn't really having it. I looked at the menus and it was all like dairy or gluten everywhere. And I was like, or fucking sugar. And it was all hard pass for me. So I was like, okay, I just looked up omelet because I'm an omelet girl. And I was like, okay, this place looks like a chain, but like, I know I can go there. They have sweet potato fries, amazing. I'm so hungry. I was like, I'm so fucking hungry. Like, I'll just go here even though it's a chain. And, you know, why do I not like going to chains? Well, first of all, the quality is usually much lower. And second of all, when I travel somewhere, I want to immerse myself in that culture. I want to spend my money at the local shops. I want to go to the breakfast spot that's been, you know, it was started by like their grandpa's grandpa and now they run it. And it's like, has a door out the line every Sunday morning. Like, that's what I want to be doing. I was definitely at a point though where I was like, oh my God, I'm so fucking hungry. So I went from the grocery store, I GPS'd it, and I went, I'm driving, and, you know, I feel the wind and the breeze of Lake Michigan, and I'm just like, I'm on my merry way, and I'm at a stoplight, and I look over, and I see this, like, big patio. Oh, by the way, when I land, it's literally mid-April in the northern part of the United States, in northern Michigan, like literally right underneath Canada. And I land and it's fucking 80 degrees Fahrenheit out. I was like sweating balls. I was like, oh my God. And it was so funny because 2 days later it got down to literally 20 degrees Fahrenheit. I had to pack for multiple climates for like a 5-day trip. And so I was stopped at a stoplight and I look over to my right and I see this like, it's like this elegant patio area. And, you know, all the people there are like well dressed and you can sit outside in the sun. And I was like, oh, I want to sit outside for lunch. And then I look across the street and I see the omelet shop. And it's like, I could tell it had like, it was all indoors. The lighting was not the best. And I just was like, oh man, I want to sit outside and eat the food that I want to eat. I was like, that's what I want. And so I parked and it was so cute. There was these signs that said like parallel parking only. And there was literally so much room everywhere. And I say it's cute because in Chicago, it's literally, that's all we do here is parallel park. And like the fact that there's like free parking and parking lots and shit is just like not a thing in the big city. So I digress. I parked and I see this beautiful couple walking toward me and they had just left that patio area. And I was like, hey, I'm from out of town. Like, are you locals? Like, it looks like you just ate there. How was it? And they're like, oh yeah, you should definitely go there. And I was like, you would go here rather than across the way for an omelet, right? And they're like, yeah. And they're like, by the way, they have omelets. And I'm like, fucking dope. So I go to the place and I look at their menu and I see stuff on the menu that I want, but most of it has stuff that would hurt my body, stuff that, you know, causes inflammation that I'm not willing to put in my body. And then I noticed that they didn't even have avocado on the menu. And I was like, oh my God, this is not for me then. And I was like, you know what? Just ask. Just ask. So I went up to the server and I said, hey, I love the vibe here. I want to eat here. Like, I just want to ask you a question about your menu. I was like, do you guys have avocado on the side? I was like, I literally said, I was like, I don't care how much it costs. Like, do you guys have avocado in the back? Like, I will just pay to get avocado added. And she was like, let me ask my manager. And the owner came over and he was like, oh yeah, we have avocado in the back. We can do that, no problem. And I'm like, okay, sweet. Like, this is my place. And they go to put me outside and they want to put me under this really, really shady spot. And I saw an open table somewhere else and it still needed to be cleaned off. I was like, hey, can I sit over there in the sun? And they were like, yeah, you're going to have to wait though, because we're going to clean it off. And I was like, that's fine. So I waited for 5 minutes and I sat down in the beautiful sun. I had my shades on. I'm like, I'm about to crush some good food. And my server comes over. He asks what you want. I'm like, I want room temperature sparkling water with lemon and lime on the side. And he's like, amazing, perfect. Brings that to me. And then I'm like, okay, so I want this omelet. I was like, but I don't want this side. I want a bed of greens and I want a side of avocado. And the server's like, we don't do sides of avocado. And I was like, oh, really? Because the manager just told me that you do. And he's like, well, maybe I'm wrong. Let me go double check. And then he comes back. He's like, you were right. We can do that for you. And I was like, sweet. This is exactly what I want. And he was like, do you want a bib? And I was like, what's a bib? And I didn't know this, but it's butter lettuce, like drizzled with lemon. It's like very fresh, very spring. It was like something that I didn't even know existed. And I was like, fuck yes, I want that, because all I wanted was protein, avocado, a bunch of veggies in an omelet. And then I got this like surprise bib thing. And I was like, amazing. I love it. And so he places my order and, while I'm waiting, I'm just like staring in the sun and I'm just like observing the whole vibe and the ambiance, and I'm drinking my water. And something that I do is, if you know me at all, I have very strict boundaries with technology. So my phone was on airplane mode and I was just enjoying the sun. I was, there was like a baby crawling on the bricks and I was like, oh, cute. And I saw this bachelorette party and they were all drunk off their asses at like noon. And I was like, oh, I remember when I used to do that. And I was like reflecting on my own journey and, and then he came out and he still didn't have the avocado on the thing. And I was like, is the avocado coming on the side? And he's like, oh no, I totally forgot. And so he went back and got the avocado and he set it on my plate and I smiled and he's like, do you have everything you need? And I was like, you know what? I do. I was like, this is exactly what I asked for and more. And I literally said those exact words to him. And then as I'm eating, I'm thinking about how this story is manifestation. Okay? So think about the moment since I landed, what I wanted. I wanted a healthy meal that would nourish me in a specific way. And then I got it. So this is what I did. First of all, the quote that comes to mind is the Oprah quote is, you get in life what you have the courage to ask for. You get in life what you have the courage to ask for. So I don't mind asking. I do not mind asking. Literally, the first thing I did when I walked into that grocery store was I started asking people that were in line for the breakfast counter, like, hey, what's your favorite breakfast spot? What's the best omelet in town? Like, just asking and acknowledging, like, I don't need to have all the answers. I just need to be willing to ask for what I actually want, okay? And so then what did I do? I allowed myself to be guided, okay? I had my eye on the omelet shop. However, I allowed myself to be guided. Like, so many people in their lives are so focused on the omelet shop that they don't see the bougie ass restaurant across the street that would actually have everything they want and more, and they'd be able to sit outside in the sun on an 80-degree day at the middle of April in the northern hemisphere. Like, so many people get fixated on what they thought they should have. And so I was open. I was open to looking around. I was open to being guided by spirit. And then what did I do? I saw that couple and I asked them. And then what did I do? I went and I ordered. So this is something that I did not want to do, is I didn't want to abandon my whole omelet plan. I wanted to do a little test with this new space to see if they would vibe with me, okay? And so what did I do? I asked them before I sat down, before I committed to it, before I was like in a space where I was so hungry that I would just take anything. I said, hey, would you do the avocado on the side? Because I already knew the omelet shop had avocado because I fucking looked at the menu. And I was like, okay, cool. These are my people. Like, I can order exactly what I want. And so I allowed myself to be guided. I asked questions. I did a little litmus test. And here's the other thing, is I was willing to go off of the menu, okay? So most people in life see a menu of options that's available to them. And it's not by accident. This is by the matrix. This is by our conditioning. So when we're little kids, we don't limit ourselves. We don't say, oh, like, I'm going to go get a law degree and make a lot of money because this is the one track I believe there is to success. That's not what people say when they're little kids. They're like, I'm going to be an astronaut. I'm going to be an explorer. I'm going to dive in the ocean all day with dolphins. Like, that's what we say as kids. And then we get conditioned for what's possible. And we get shown a menu. So what was my menu in life? It was either be a performing musician or a teacher, a music teacher in the public schools. And those were the options I thought were available. Or be a dietitian and say, fuck you to my artistry altogether. So that's not what I've done in my life, if you can't tell. I was willing to go off the menu because the menu is what the matrix tells you is what's available. It's not what is actually available. So think about it. Like, I even built my own omelet. I deleted inflammatory shit off of it. And I added, because I was like, oh, do you have broccoli in the back? Oh, do you have mushrooms in the back? Do you have extra onion in the back? Oh, by the way, I want double avocado, not just one serving. Like, because I know that the menu isn't the end all be all. What's been presented to us as options is not the end all be all. So that's how I was able to place an order of what I actually fucking wanted. And so in life, you get to do this too with manifestation. It's like, and this is why it's so powerful to have mentors and coaches and guides, because so many of us, like, we don't even know what we want because we don't even know it exists yet as an option. Okay? So one example of this is one of my ride or die mentors, Victoria Washington. Like, she doesn't very much anymore, but she would post on Instagram very, very openly about the numbers, about how much she was making in her business, how much money. And I was like, holy shit, that's even possible? I was like, a $10,000 month? I was like, a $50,000 month and $100,000 month? People actually do that? I had no idea that was even on the menu for me until she showed me it was possible. And so the same with manifesting literally anything in your life. Do not let the menu you see stop your dreams. Don't let that be what you allow to be the possibilities for your life. So, while I'm doing this, while I'm living this day, while I'm like building my own omelet when there's no build your own omelet option on the menu, and asking for the exact table I want, like, I'm not thinking about this, but this is what I was doing. I was just manifesting. I was placing an order with the universe. And so another manifestation principle so I have it written down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 quotes written down that I feel were encapsulated in this story for manifesting and how to place an order with the universe. First, it's the Oprah quote. You get in life what you have the courage to ask for, right? So if I was self-conscious about like being high maintenance, or I don't believe in that word, high maintenance. I believe that, I know exactly who I am. I know what I want. I know how I want it. And I'm willing to ask for it very directly. And then guess what? It's delivered to me. Okay? And that's it's not about having an ego. It's like that Marianne Williamson quote. It's like, it actually is more arrogant to pretend that you're not a child of the stars, to pretend you're not a child of God, to pretend you're not divine, than it is to own that, yes, I am a co-creator with the universe. So you get in life what you have the courage to ask for, okay? And what you ask for is directly correlated to what you've seen as possible. So the second quote, this is just one of my manifestation principles that I live by, is that or something better. That or something better. And so, I was thinking like, I want an omelet. I want avocado. I want it with veggies. I want to feel nourished before, I head out to my cottage. And, I was headed towards the omelet shop and I was saying that or something better. Something better was across the street. And then even when I was ordering the omelet at the new bougie patio place, that or something better, they had this crazy, like lemony, butter lettuce delectable treat that I had no idea existed, called a bib, that made it better. That was on the side of my omelet. And I will tell you, I never felt more like nourished and freshed and just like held by spirit. I'm like, yes, I needed all of this. Like that or something better. The third quote, know thyself. I know myself. I know exactly what I need in terms of nourishment. I know exactly what I value. And so I know that helps me place an order with the universe for anything. And then question everything is another one. So because we live in a universe and we live on the earthly plane where the matrix is in charge. The matrix is starting to shatter, but it's going to grip for a long time. We're going to be in this crunchiness till 2025 at least, based on the astrology. And what I invite you to do is question everything. Question everything. Because we've all been programmed to believe certain things. We've all been programmed to feel safe doing certain things. That's where breathwork healing comes in. And it's all a lie, y'all. It's all a lie. So question everything. What did I do from the moment I landed to the moment I ate that first bite of my amazing brunch? That was not an accident. It was something I placed an order with the universe, and the universe delivered and then some. I questioned everything. I asked not every person. I asked so many people about where to go for food. I asked, that couple on the street. I asked before I sat down at the new restaurant if they were willing to do stuff. So one mantra that I learned from, I want to say his name is Mike Quigley. He writes the notes from the universe. That's an email list I've been on for years and years. I will link it in the show notes. But he says one of his manifestation mantras is knock on doors and walk through ones that open. Okay? So this is what I was doing when I went to that second restaurant. I knocked on the door and it opened, right? I knocked on the door and said, hey, do you have avocado and will you give me it? Obviously for money. And they said yes. And so I walked through the door. This is what a lot of people do with manifesting. They knock on the door and they either receive a no or no answer. And then they keep knocking on the same door and they wonder why shit's not happening in their life. It's like, only keep knocking if it opens. And it's not to say that oh my gosh, my first week in my business, I'm going to make all this money and have all these clients and blah, blah, blah. And the first date I go on, I'm going to meet my husband. It's that's not it. I'm not talking about immature, impatient manifesting. What I'm talking about is the maturity to not bang your head against the wall and not argue with the universe for what is the best course of action for you. So question everything, and walk through, step through when you receive the divine guidance too. And then my last quote on here, this is just from me, is it's probably not on the menu. It's probably not on the menu. When you think about your deepest soul's dreams, when you think about your deepest desires, about a life that you would just love to live, I guarantee, if you get really, really honest with yourself, that it's not on the menu of prescribed ways that you're supposed to live in this lifetime. Like careers, relationships, where you're supposed to live, what you're supposed to be doing, who you're going to be doing it with, how to talk, how to dress, how to express yourself. It's probably not on the menu. The menu is the way the matrix keeps people in the status quo, keeps people asleep, keeps people mindlessly going through the motions in their life rather than living. So this is how to place an order with the universe. This is manifestation. Okay? You get in life what you have the courage to ask for. That or something better. Know thyself. Question everything. Be willing to be guided. It's probably not on the menu. Be willing to go off-roading with your requests. And know that they're not crazy. Know that if it was sown into your heart, that it's yours and that it's possible. You just get to take the steps to live it out and receive it from the universe in this lifetime. So to wrap up the end of this story, I'm sitting there in the sun. I'm eating this fucking dope omelet. And the server, I could tell he was younger, or I believe his pronoun was he. It could have been a different pronoun. they were in their early 20s, just like serving and just like doing the thing, like many of us did. Like, I hustled my little ass off for years and years and years. I was never a server. I was a lifeguard though, and I managed pools, so I was in the service industry. I still am in the service industry. Like, I serve, I'm serving right now. I'm serving by teaching, by sharing. And anyways, he asked me, he's like, this is everything what I said. This is exactly what I want, is exactly what I wanted, and then some. And so what did I do? First of all, I always tip in angel numbers. Let's be real, people. I always tip in angel numbers. And depending on where you're listening from, I know tipping isn't like a big thing in like all countries in the world. It's a very big thing. In the US, it's like servers make their whole living on tips. And I got the bill, and I literally, it's just because of where I live, relative to where I was visiting. But I got the bill, and I believe it was like $16. $16 for a gorgeous omelet that I literally just made, and then I asked for extra stuff, and it was still literally $16. Like, I'm trying to think of what I could get for $16 in Chicago. Like eating out, I don't think you can. I don't think you can eat out for $16 anywhere. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to say thank you. I'm going to say thank you to the universe. I'm going to pay it forward to this 20-something. And I doubled it. And of course I made it a double angel number. And I wrote on the receipt, I said, gratitude and abundance, smiley face. And so that's the last part as well of how to place an order with the universe, is like, when you receive the order, deep reverence, deep gratitude, not through just what you say, through what you live, and then continuing the abundance. Like, that rippled out. And I'm like, of course I never saw that person's face when they got the bill or when they got the receipt, but it's like, that might have been his biggest tip all day. I have no idea. But you know what? I bet it probably made him smile. I bet it probably changed his whole day, changed how he interacted with every other person he interacted with that day. I love how that money touched his bank account and his life. And yeah, it's just a way of being in relationship with the universe, right? I'm not sitting over here being like, I want this, and 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 I want this, without ever giving. Just like the breath. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And that was a very big exhale into the universe, okay? And so this is how to place an order with the universe and get exactly what you want, and maybe even more, because I didn't even know that I wanted that bib. And I got it. Oh my gosh, it's 111 as I'm recording. So I hope this serves you. I really invite you to journal on this. Like, if you were to place an order with the universe and you knew you could have anything, and that it's probably not on the menu, and that you get in life what you have the courage to ask for, what would you ask for? And would you be willing to be guided? Would you be willing to question everything? Would you be willing to get to know yourself so deeply that you don't question or hesitate or hem or haw or dilute your own desires? And would you be willing to say that or something better and let the universe blow your fucking mind with how amazing it could be. We have such a limited perception of what's available to us. And then you talk about the menu of the Matrix and it's like, woo, no wonder people get to the end of their life and they're like, wow, did I even ever live? Or did I always just do what I thought I was supposed to? Did I work a job for 30 years, have kids, retire, go to Disney, and like go on one trip a year and then go to a retirement home and pass away? Like, or is there more? Or maybe parts of that trajectory do resonate with you. I don't know. What I do know is you get to place your order with the universe, and this is how you can do it. This is how I do it. And it's a give and take relationship. So I really just invite you to take this and run with it and place your own orders with the universe. All right? So if we want a better world, if we want a new earth, it's going to be new. We're going to be off-roading with the manifesting. We got to be questioning everything. We got to be knowing ourselves. We got to be placing orders with the universe consistently in courageous ways and being willing to be guided, being willing to have our minds blown wide open with magic and miracles and synchronicity and abundance and overflow and heaven on earth and love and harmony and peace and joy and all the things. I hope this served you. I hope this can be a portal into a new way of living and manifesting. And now I have a couple invitations for you. So I have something brand spanking new. Brand spanking new. It's called Breaths of Joy. This is a texting service. This is where I text you Monday through Friday every single morning with a boost of joy, positivity, coaching, astrology, insights, so that you can move through your day with a positive set of lenses and a positive outlook on life, so that you take action in the direction of your dreams. So if you want to receive these texts, go to the link in the show notes and sign up. So it's going to be starting on May 1st, 2023. This is Monday through Friday. This is one of, if not the most financially accessible ways that you can experience my magic on a regular basis. So it's going to be $55 a month to get daily, Monday through Friday, insights, inspiration, tools, coaching, astrology downloads to support you on your soul's path. So it's called Breaths of Joy, and the link to that is in the show notes. If you want to dive deep with me, if you want to go all the way with me as your ride or die one-on-one mentor, I'm accepting 2 leaders into one-on-one VIP Platinum mentorship. So if you want me as your mentor, so you can do breathwork healing, astrology expansion, manifesting. So this is just a short window into how we work together, like all of the things so you can lead and manifest and heal and live the life you truly desire. DM me on Instagram or apply through the link in the show notes. So those are the 2 invitations I have for you today. Join Breaths of Joy or apply for one-on-one mentorship. And by the way, if you did the one-on-one mentorship, you obviously get Breaths of Joy as part of it. All right, fam. This is how you place an order with the universe. So what orders are you going to place? Knowing that you are one of a kind, knowing that you came here to be big, to be bold, to be you, to manifest dreams on repeat for yourself, for your family, for your bloodline, and for the whole fucking world, because it's time. It is time. So go out there, be an amazing you, place those orders, join Breaths of Joy. I'm so excited. I've had this idea on my heart for literally a year, literally a whole fucking year, and it's about to happen. So yay. I'm so grateful for you. Don't forget how amazing you are. Don't forget that you matter. Your ideas matter. And it's time to place orders with the universe and receive them with abundance and gratitude and impact. Go out there, be an amazing you. Share your gifts, be the light. Be kinder than you feel like you need to be. Everyone is going through stuff that you probably have no idea what's going on. And yeah, I love you so much. I believe in you. Take action on your dreams. And I will see you next time on A Better World with Adrienne. Thank you so much for tuning in to A Better World with Adrienne. If you liked this episode, please subscribe to A Better World. Share this podcast with someone you love, someone you know that has dreams and visions to share with all of us for a better world. So subscribe, please leave a review, and let's spread this message like the wildfire of the heart, of the soul, of a better world. Follow me on Instagram at MindfulJoyMuse. Tag me in your stories and let's spread this message. Don't forget, you're the only you that exists in the history of the universe. You are important, you are worthy, you are valuable, your ideas are needed and an important part of a better world. Love you and see you soon.